Welcome back for those that followed this Pinzgauer last time, but we have a unique opportunity for anyone that's interested. We got this truck back from the customer that we sold it to on Bring a Trailer last to do some additional work to it. And so anyway, it's even better than before. So he owns it because it's here. He said, will you just list it on Bring a Trailer? So that's what we're going to do. So here's the rundown on it. Some of those that might have followed it last time, you kind of have the original guy that imported it as far as the details go. I think he was someone told me was the first dealer that brought in Lexus or something out of Florida, big money guy. It was on his ranch. It was used for hunting. It was purposely built for that. He would have put the most amount of money into this, so a ton of money when he did it. Then we put additional money into it, made it more comfortable, not necessarily for hunting, but for skiing and outdoors and just kind of a party van. And then the customer that we sold it to has now put over $10,000 of more work into it just to make some things work even better. So we'll go through those as we do a walk around on this vehicle. Okay, so starting up front, you've got, first off, new paint. So this would have been army green. It had a nasty camouflage wrap on it. We pulled that off and then prepped it and then painted it this kind of awesome flat matte silver. I love the paint color on this. Also was added, the first owner did an auxiliary cooling because in America, when you get at 100 degrees, these things run a little warm. And so now it doesn't run warm at all. So you got auxiliary cooling. He had a massive platform bumper out here. Don't know if they were standing on it to shoot animals or whatever. It was just horrible. I think your approach angle was nothing. So we tucked everything in. You still got this big 12,000 pound winch up there. We changed it out to synthetic line. Kind of added some character to it, tied in the cage. You got a 50-inch light bar up top, 20-inch light bar here. I think they're Globetech is the brand. Then you've got these expensive spotlights that actually have a joystick for the passenger and driver. So those rotate 360 degrees. So the original owner would have taken what would have been a soft top and had all this aluminum bodywork done and roof. This is composite, but this would have all been a soft top. I just wanted this extra peace of mind to know that it was really watertight. So we bed lined the roof in addition to that, as we prepped the paint. You also have, these were not standard, but Hutchinson beadlock wheels, very expensive setup. Coming around here, these windows were both added. The ambulance box originally would have been tiny. These rub rails were added. We bed lined all of this, bed lined the fenders. Also have an amp step, electric step, just to make it easy. It's controlled by, a switch on the door. Make it easy to get in and out of on that. Additional windows, 20-inch light bar back here. Everything works, all your lights and stuff work on it. Going around here, we kind of added a little bit of a ladder system to it. You've got, now the systems are all 24 volt, so we wanted to make it even more efficient. So here you've got 4 batteries that are individually switched. And then one of the biggest upgrades that the third owner, the guy we sold it to, we just added for him, is we imported from Europe a 24 volt air conditioning unit. It's so much more efficient. The one we had on there before was 115 volt. And so it had to run from your alternators into the inverter, and then from the inverter, the power there. So at idle, it just seemed to surge, and not really blow cold air. So this thing just runs nonstop. There's no surging. It's just so much more efficient. Technology's gotten so much better. I think the original builder probably built this 10, 15 years ago. So there just wasn't a lot of great options, for your 12 or 24 volt air conditioners. Now there are. So the owner we sold it to kind of bought it for him. We did. He had a daughter in high school, kind of for fun for them, for school dances, stuff like we used it for. It still only has 64,000 kilometers on it, which is what we had before. So he might have only put 500 miles, on it, maybe 600 miles or less, because it didn't turn over to 65,000 yet. Another thing we added when we originally had it is we undercoated the bottom just to protect it, make it even better. When we got it back, we also fully serviced the motor. So did a full service on everything. We also noticed it, for some reason, at first it wasn't starting as easy as it, because it always started, like even middle of winter at a ski resort when it's 10 degrees outside, it fired up. So we realized that some of the glow plugs had gone bad. So we replaced those, some spark plugs. Anyway, it's just, the motor runs really good now. Another thing that we noticed is that the bearings on both alternators were wobbling, so that there was just a little inefficiency and a little belt squeak on one of them. So as we tested those, we realized that neither one of them were working at the capacity they should. So we also just barely replaced both all 24-volt alternators. So anyway, this thing's like ready to go now. Just get in it and drive. Okay, so inside of here, just to recap, we added a ton of sound deadening when we owned it, over 3 years ago. So it already had some from the previous owner. We added another layer, and then we also added a combination of sound deadening and heat shield underneath that. So even just here, you've got this, like to show in the doghouse. There's this sound deadening plus the heat shield and sound deadening. So this is very quiet. You can easily talk to a passenger while you're driving it. We just made it comfortable. Heater works great. Air conditioning now works great. Here we are, this new rooftop unit. It's just simple on and off temperature control, like your thermostat. And then you can put the fan speed on auto or whatever speed you want. In here, the dash and everything's still really clean. Just to recap, it's an automatic transmission. I'll pull this out of the way so you can see that you're always driving the 2 rear axles in open differentials. Here, you flip that switch, it's going to put you in 6-wheel drive and activate the front axle. Here, you throw in the back locker, the rear locker, it's going to lock both rear lockers. And then here's a front locker. So again, this thing will climb anything you dare drive it up. And it's relatively a small vehicle. For holding 14 passengers, it's a pretty small vehicle. It'll go a lot of places, like places you take Jeeps and stuff. This thing's still pretty small for what it is. And very, very capable. And the diesel motor gives it great torque. Over here, we've got a backup camera. Up into here is our diesel heater. So this is a diesel fired heater. Again, you can set the fan speed and controls. That's for the rear. The front has the coolant heater, the factory coolant heater, which is plenty. Up here is where you can turn this big inverter on. So this has a massive and expensive inverter in it. It's not hooked to anything now. There's an outlet on it in case you wanted to run, power off to something. If somebody wanted to turn this into a camper or whatever, that gives you a great start to have that inverter. Here we custom built and 3D printed our own speedo. So we have a GPS speedo in miles per hour. The factory one is along with the kilometers that all work is showing. You could pull this off and you're going to have back to kilometers and that speedo. Your headlights, your hazard lights, it shows you your boost, your fuel gauge, your temperature gauge, all that works. Here's your fan speed for your heater, your dash light brightness, controls here for HVAC. We added 12-volt accessories here for phone charging. And this is the Fusion Bluetooth. You have a controller here and also a bigger controller in the rear, but then you can also run it off your phone and control everything. So that way kids in the back can play the tunes, turn up the volume. Rear view mirrors, mainly you can't see much out the back. It's mainly just to see your passenger back there. You also have all of these overhead switches. You've got a bypass on your engine fan. You've got your cabin lights, your rear, your front. This is your backup camera. And so all of these will control all the accessories in your truck. And then here is what I mentioned earlier. This is your joystick where you can run those, turn that light on there. And then this is your joystick to run that the spotlights up on top. In the front, we have these low-profile Corbeau racing seats. They're great seats, very comfortable. I'm a big guy, and I still fit in it fine, even with the bolsters. So I'm 6'3", 230 pounds. Here's a shot at the inverter, and then you also have the pass-through. There's also some red lighting and things in here. You have different lighting for map reading, auxiliary lighting back here as well. Back here's the stuff that's way over my brain power and capacity, but this is the brains of this truck. I mean, everything's in there wired. Our engineers here at Adrenaline set all that up. It's done very well and controls everything in this truck and can isolate it all. So that way, if there was some troubleshooting to be done, we can help with that. Okay, let's jump back here. So the doors have plungers that will hold them open. Then in here, this is where the fun's at. So you've got 12 seats, 12 seat belts. Seat belts are all done up in here. We also added, you've got 2 subwoofers, you got 4 regular speakers back here. Again, this is the power vent. There's different vents. You've got a hatch that can be opened up. These windows also slide open if you wanted to let fresh air in. Your diesel heater is underneath here. There's the stereo system controller I mentioned earlier. Plus there's some ports back here for power. So there's plenty of 12-volt power for everyone's always wanting to charge their phones. We had these custom made by PRP. Took 2 inches out of the length here of a standard seat, so that you'd have plenty of leg room in here. But this is really fun. I think it turned out really good. Whoever buys it can enjoy it. We added some hooks up above. That's nice. Like, we use it for skiing, so ski bags would be hung up there. Imperfections, just so we're transparent, because it drives me crazy how many people are. I bought a few vehicles on Bring a Trailer and just got lied to. That's not what we're about. I wish more people would just be straight up. This has not got any worse. This is composite. When we sold it last time, still had a little bit of bubble here. You got a tiny bit of surface rust showing on a hinge here. Back here's where we had a dent from before the ski boxes, where the ski box put a dent. Just really minor there. A little, again, blistering, but it's not like hollow underneath it or anything. It's not like it's just coming apart. It was just some imperfection in the composite. There's a tiny oil leak from a valve cover gasket. They just didn't care to tackle it and fix it. It's been sitting here for months and months, and that's how much it's leaked. So that's probably 4 months worth of what it leaked. So it's just a seep. Could be fixed. Some people have talked that showed interest before about putting even a bigger diesel motor in it. So it might benefit from it. Right now it still runs really good. Okay, let's go drive this thing. Show you how it drives. All right, we're cruising along. Right here's our 0 to 60. Just stopped at a traffic light. So has a little bit of a turbo lag that kicks in. There's first gear shifting to second. Cruising along. Got our air conditioning running. This is so nice. It's hot outside. It's over 90 degrees today here in northern Utah. And so the AC works just fine. Like, it definitely cools down the cab. We'll get it here and show kind of its top speed. Right now we're going nearly 60. Should be going over 60. So this thing just cruises right along. And like I said, it's pretty quiet in here. You can easily talk to your passenger at normal voice levels, which when this thing's stock, you cannot do that. It is so loud. So I believe top speed, this is a little bit bigger tire size than normal, so it's over 70 miles an hour, but it can cruise very nicely at 65. Temperature's fine. If you look over here, temperature's nice and cool. Anyway, it works great. We're going 67 miles an hour now, even pulling a slight grade. Now it's falling down a little bit because we're going a little bit uphill. This really is one of my favorite vehicles that I've driven out of all the vehicles we've had here at Adrenaline Industries. This one's a pretty special vehicle. The new owner's gonna love it. It's the ultimate party bus. Anyway, good luck on the bids.